CBS Young and the Restless. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is a crazy day to be a fan, and honestly, I am still shaking from what we just watched. Grab a comfy seat and whatever strong beverage you need, because we have a massive, heartbreaking episode to unpack today. Let's dive right into the madness. I cannot believe they did this. I am literally typing this up at 2 a.m. because my brain is just spinning and I need to get this out of my system before I explode. Am I the only one who is just completely, utterly exhausted by the constant trauma they put Sally Spectra through? I mean, seriously. I've been watching this show religiously since 2015, and I have seen characters go through the ringer, but what they are doing to Sally right now is just cruel. We all knew this pregnancy storyline was going to be messy, but this is the most brutal, gut-wrenching thing they've done in years. React first, explain later, right? Well, my reaction is just pure, unadulterated rage of Billy Abbott and Jill and absolute heartbreak for Sally. Let's back up because I am just so worked up. So, Sally has been working her fingers to the bone at Summer's Corp, right? She is already physically and mentally exhausted. She has been trying so hard to prove that she is more than just her past, more than just a scheming Spectra, more than all the labels the Genoa City elite have slapped on her. And what does she get when she finally has a moment to breathe? She gets ambushed. She gets Jill being her usual toxic, meddlesome self, pouring poison into Billy's ear, and Billy, oh my god, Billy. I used to defend him, I really did, but the absolute audacity of this man to question the paternity of Sally's baby? After everything they've supposedly built, he literally looked at the woman he claims to love, who is already terrified because of her history of loss, and asked if the baby was his. I am sorry, but he is absolute trash for that. Remember when they tried to redeem Dilly after the whole Delia tragedy? Yeah, didn't work then either, because he always self-destructs and takes the women he loves down with him. He did it to Victoria, he did it to Lily, he did it with Chelsea, and now he is doing it to Sally. He has this chronic need to play the victim while simultaneously being the architect of his own misery. Jill is no better. Jill has spent decades tearing down any woman who isn't good enough for her precious boys. She did it to Chloe, she did it to Mac, and now she is doing it to Sally. Jill's arrogant, elitist attitude is exactly what pushed Sally over the edge today, and I hope Jill feels the weight of this tragedy, though knowing her. She'd probably find a way to blame Sally for the crash too. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, back to the point. So Sally is furious, she's insulted, and she's heartbroken. She talks to Audra, who, by the way, is proving to be the only actual friend Sally has in this miserable town, which is wild considering their history, but I digress. Audra gives her a little bit of sympathy, calms her down a fraction, but the damage is done. The seed of doubt is planted, and the betrayal is stinging. Sally realizes that she is never going to be safe in this relationship. She gets in her car, completely overwhelmed by the reality that the man she trusted thinks she's a cheating liar. And of course, because it's Genoa City and someone is emotionally spiraling, it has to be a torrential downpour outside. She is driving home in the pitch black. The rain is absolutely pounding against the windshield, and her visibility is basically zero. But worse than the weather is her headspace. Her mind is just completely consumed by Jill's cruel, venomous words echoing in her ears, and Billy's utter lack of trust flashing before her eyes. You can see it on her face. Courtney Hope was acting her heart out in this scene, just conveying this suffocating mix of anger, betrayal, and despair. Her grip on the steering wheel, the tears mixing with the shadows. It was so intense, and then, in a split second of distraction, bam! She loses control. The car hydroplanes, the tires screech over the wet asphalt, and the vehicle smashes violently into the guardrail. And it doesn't just crash, it flips. I was screaming at my screen. The visual of the car upside down, the metal crushing, the glass shattering everywhere, and Sally desperately dragging her battered, bleeding body out of the wreckage right before it bursts into a massive fireball. It was cinematic, but it was horrifying. I was sitting there clutching my blanket, just praying they wouldn't do what I knew they were going to do. I mean, we all saw the foreshadowing, but actually watching it happen is a completely different level of trauma. But they did it, and this is where the episode just shattered me into a million pieces. We cut to the hospital, the harsh, sterile fluorescent lights, the steady, depressing beep of the monitors. The doctor comes in, looking somber, and they deliver the news that no mother should ever have to hear once, let alone TWIC in her life. Sally lost the baby. She miscarries. And you know what the most chilling part was? She didn't cry. There were no hysterics, no screaming, no sobbing, no throwing things. It was just this eerie, dead silence. I have watched so many soap miscarriages where the actress just wails and collapses, and it's sad, but this silent, hollow, empty stare, it was 10 times more devastating. It was the look of a woman whose soul just snapped in half. It was the look of someone who has nothing left to lose because the universe has already taken everything from her. And then Billy walks in. Billy, who is probably already feeling a tiny bit guilty for his accusations, but he has nitrogen monoxide idea what is coming for him. He walks in with that pathetic, sad puppy look he always gets when he screws up. Sally doesn't yell. She just slowly turns her head, looks him dead in the eye with the coldest, most lifeless glare I have ever seen on daytime television, and says the words that will haunt him forever. "Your doubt killed our baby." Chills, literal chills all over my body. I mean, she is not wrong. If he hadn't pushed her, if he hadn't let his mommy dearest get in his head and question her loyalty, she wouldn't have been in that car. She wouldn't have been driving blind through a storm while crying over his betrayal. Billy Abbott is going to have to live with that for the rest of his miserable life, and honestly, good. He deserves to carry that guilt. But wait, it gets darker. Because losing the baby wasn't enough torture for the writers, they had to push Sally into a literal psychological black hole. As she's lying in that sterile hospital bed, the trauma of losing this baby triggers the unresolved, agonizing grief of losing baby Ava. Suddenly, Sally isn't just staring at the wall. She's having full-blown hallucinations. Her mind is fracturing right in front of us. She starts seeing baby Ava, and the hallucination isn't comforting. It's not a sweet angel baby coming to bring her peace. No, the hallucination of Ava is blaming her, oozing resentment. The phantom of her lost child is telling Sally that she is a failure as a mother, asking why she couldn't protect either of them. I could not breathe watching this. We know Sally has always blamed herself deep down for what happened with Ava and Adam. She always thought there was something she could have done differently, some way she could have saved her. And now her broken psyche is using the ghost of her first child to torture her over the death of her second. It is a level of psychological horror that The Young and the Restless rarely touches, and Courtney Hope is delivering an Emmy-winning performance right before our eyes. The way she flinches away from the empty air, the way her eyes dart around the room. It is phenomenal acting, but it is so hard to watch. I know some people are loving this dark, messy drama, but personally, I am just so angry for Sally. Hasn't she suffered enough? Why can't she just have one sliver of happiness without it being ripped away in the most traumatic way possible? And can we just circle back to Jill for a second, because I am not done with her. Jill Abbott has the nerve to sit up in her penthouse and judge Sally's spectra for her past. Has Jill looked in a mirror recently? Has she read her own biography? This is the woman who literally clawed her way up from being a manicurist, fought Catherine Chancellor in the mud, and slept her way through half of Genoa City to get where she is. The absolute hypocrisy of Jill looking down her nose at Sally, calling her a gold digger or untrustworthy, makes my blood boil. Jill should be looking at Sally and seeing a younger version of herself as survivor. Instead, she uses her power and influence to tear down a young woman who is just trying to survive. It's disgusting. And Billy is weak for letting his mother dictate his life at his big age. Also, the directing in that hospital scene, masterful. The way they framed Sally in that massive, empty hospital bed, making her look so small and isolated. The stark white walls contrasting with the dark, heavy bags under her eyes. It really emphasized how completely alone she is in this world. Billy was standing right there in the room, but he might as well have been on another planet. The physical distance between them in that shot mirrored the absolute chasm that has now opened up in their relationship. There is no coming back from this. You don't just go to couples counseling after your partner accuses you of cheating and it leads to the death of your child. This bridge isn't just burned, it's completely vaporized. Am I the only one who thinks this is going to lead to a complete villain origin story for Sally? Because honestly, I am absolutely here for it. I want her to burn Billy's life to the ground. I want her to go after Jill and destroy Chancellor Winters or whatever company Jill cares about this week. I want her to take over Summers Corp, push Phyllis out completely, and just become this ruthless, untouchable ice queen. She has tried playing nice. She tried being the good, supportive girlfriend. She tried building a normal, quiet life, and all it got her was a flipped car, a dead baby, and a hallucination of her first dead child calling her a failure. And let's talk about Adam for a second, because you just KNOW Adam is going to find out about this. He's currently stuck in Vegas dealing with the Nick and Matt Clark nightmare. But when he gets back and finds out that Billy's toxic insecurity caused Sally to miscarry, oh, it is going to be a bloodbath. Adam knows the pain of losing Ava. He shared that exact same trauma with Sally. When he finds out she is going through it again, and that she's hallucinating their daughter, Spider is going to come out, and Billy better run for the hills. Adam has done terrible things, but his love for Sally has always been fiercely protective. I know I'm rambling, but I just have so many feelings about this. The writing, the acting, the directing of that crash sequence, it was all top tier, but it hurts so much to digest. We are watching the complete mental and emotional destruction of Sally Spectra. She is completely isolated now, except for Audra, who ironically also lost a baby years ago with Noah. I predict Audra is going to be the one to pull Sally out of this dark place. Or maybe they'll just team up and destroy everyone who wronged them. Either way, the old Sally is dead. The woman who crawled out of that burning wreckage is someone entirely new, and Genoa City is not ready for her. Okay, I need to go try to sleep, but I doubt I'll be able to close my eyes without seeing Sally's cold stare. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode. Are you as furious at Billy and Jill as I am? Do you think Sally is going to go full villain? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I desperately need to vent with people who understand this show and feel this pain.